In Nigeria in the last 48 hours, all linked, almost all linked to the terrorist attack, but they are popularly calling them bandits attacks. So there is this land dispute that happened in Ogun State, where some Chinese men have been kidnapped and other people were killed. Then we had the reports that some people were also attacked in a Bejuleki area of Lagos, but some people responded. We have added the other report of attacks in Katsina, attacks in Zamfara, and just today it's been reported that another school, a government school, right, in Kaba, Bono local government area of Kogi State has been attacked. And this time, a woman has been killed, not just a woman, but a student, a woman, and the other person yet to be identified or named. That's a vice principal of the school. And a certain undisclosed number of people have also been kidnapped. All of this is just to cap what has been happening in the last 48 hours. I mean, the last time we met, we were still reviewing the recent video released by the terrorists that took 46 school children and their teachers from their schools in Oyo State, where they were pleading that they were not asking for Sharia. They just wanted their members, their fellow terrorists that are in prisons in Oyo State to be freed before they can release these school children and their teachers. So we haven't gotten any update on that so far, except that there's a letter released by the DSS, right? This letter was purportedly to have been sent to the NSCDC in Edo State, alerting them that they have received some intelligence reports that there is a planned mass school kidnapping expected in Edo State. Let's see if I can read that out a bit in parts. Give me a second. Right. So according to them, they said there's a planned mass abduction of school children in Edo State by suspected bandits. So intelligence at the disposal of the command indicate plans by suspected bandits to kidnap school children in the state, particularly in Edo North Senatorial District. This follows an intercept between suspected bandits, one Bawa Enu, suspected to be of Fulani extraction, that's a Fulani terrorist from Zamfara State, and one Nuhu, FNU. So they said that during the conversation, the duo disclosed their plans to kidnap school children in Edo North Senatorial District, as previous attempts to kidnap wealthy individuals had not yielded the expected financial gains. To this end, they concluded that abducting school children would attract greater government attention and potentially increase the likelihood of huge ransom payments and concessions. Already, on 4th of June 2026, one Emmanuel Momedu, 25 years, was apprehended while he was perceived to be surveilling Makeke Secondary School at Makeke community in Okonkwo Edo local government area. So their comments: in view, it is advised that countermeasures be placed around schools in the state with focus on Edo North Senatorial District to strengthen security around schools and other educational institutions. This may include the deployment of personnel to vulnerable schools and communities in collaboration with ESSC, local vigilantes and hunters, as well as intensify security patrols in vulnerable areas to enhance surveillance. So please check something. This was from the DSS. alerting the government and other security guys in Edo State to, to be on alert. So right now, we do not have the number of children or students that they have kidnapped from this Kogi school. And somehow, it is not really kind of like a trending like what happened in your state. So we don't have the number of people taken. In fact, they have also taken students and their teachers too from their schools. And the Kogi state government is in fact yet to make any statement about this. Now, referring back to the DSS letter to the Edo State supposed government and then the NSCDC or wherever they are, alerting them that they've apprehended some guys and they believe that there are plots to begin to kidnap school children in the state. Their own governor is unbothered. Okweodoyo, the Dodoyo governor of Edo, was at a rally where he was busy bragging, in fact, dismissing all these abductions and kidnappings and all that, the state of insecurity in the country. He dismissed them. It was like, those who are behind this insecurity are just there doing it to tarnish the image of Tinubu. And if they hope that this is going to disturb or stop him from winning a re-election, then they are wrong. So they can continue to kidnap, but people are going to vote for Tinubu. That is the man the DSS just alerted that there might be school kidnappings in his own state. And what was he busy doing? Okweodoyo.
Those people that are seeking for power, let them stop disturbing our president. Let them stop disturbing our president. I say one more time, let them stop disturbing our president. Let them allow him to think how to move Nigeria forward. Let them stop kidnapping. Kidnapping cannot give them villa. Kidnapping cannot give them government house. Kidnapping cannot give them house of assembly. It cannot even give them senate. Not even house of rep. They should stop disturbing our president by using kidnappers to disturb us. The children that they have kidnapped, let them release them unconditionally. He said, must you kidnap people to make statements, to let people know that you are there? But this president has done so much for this country. Policy-wise, decision taking, nobody has done it like Mr. President. I can never forget when people gathered to say there must be no fuel subsidy removal. This man did it, and he's paying up today. The things you are seeing happening in Edo State today, it is that subsidy that was removed. Because of this, what President is doing for our country, what Mr. President has done for Edo State and other states in Nigeria. Here we say President less than 2.5 million votes. Is that not what we said? How many did we promise? Is it not settled in the door? What can we say unto our president? All we have to say is thank you, our president. Thank you, president. Thank you, president. All we have to say is thank you, president. There will be no vacancy in Nassau.
What shall I say unto the Lord? Yes, Lord. All I have to say, thank you, Lord. What shall I say? Thank you, Lord.
Because except something unexpected happens, right? The year 2027 is settled. It is settled in the sense that all these guys have had their meetings. So what's going to happen in 2027? Now the result is going to be written and permuted from all these states, right? It's settled. So no amount of these obvious failures that Nigerians are lamenting and crying, and you know that will probably change that. That is their conviction. All right. So they have no real empathy, even when they want to pretend to. Just don't get distracted by what they are just saying. Watch their body languages too. So to them, some people are behind all of this. And I've actually just gotten the reports that the attack in Kogi, which happened to be the day the children are writing their YX, okay, the school they attacked, right? They said that the attempt has been finally foiled. Espresso. So they said that some of the terrorists have actually been killed. Again, let's hope so. So going forward, here is Akpabiole's own kind of like a position on this state of things, by the way.
Our Minister, you said that people claim that nothing is happening in Nigeria under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If they did not say that, how would they go for election? They have to say that. And if you notice what is happening recently, when they realize that they cannot talk about projects, when they realize they cannot talk about performance, when they realize they cannot talk about good laws, when they realize they cannot talk about the transformation in the petroleum industry, when they realize they cannot talk about subsidy removal that have been promised Nigerians for decades, when they realize that they can no longer talk about most of the abandoned high-rises in Abuja, such as the NRS building, Nigerian Revenue Service building that we commissioned the other day. They now started resorting to paying small young people, recruiting them to cause mayhem across the country. So I want you all who are here to be very vigilant. Be careful about people trying to kidnap for ransom. They are kidnapping in order to cause distraction. They are kidnapping in order to give the impression that Nigeria is not safe. But our men and women in uniform have done tremendously well. I'm aware of that. But many people will not know. And that's why I keep saying that the devil you see today, you will soon see them no more. Elections will come and go. Elections will never be our end. We will see the end of elections. Elections will never see our end. Honourable Minister, you said that people claim that.
Yeah, that is them. It is because they cannot compete with Tinubu's achievements. That is why they resorted into like a kidnapping children. That is the number 3 man in Nigeria. And it's like the same talking point for all of them. Who are these people that can't compete with Tinubu but decided to start recruiting young people to start kidnapping people all over Nigeria? Who recruited these Fulani terrorists? Number 3 man in Nigeria is also driving on that conspiracy theory, which is their own. They created it. But because it can only fly in Nigeria. Ordinarily, that same narrative should have been their own end. Because Nigerians should be able to hold them and ask and say, so you do know people behind all of this. So they are doing this because they want to make Nigeria look bad. They want to make Tinubu look bad. But you've got nothing to do. They are so powerful that you can't even touch them. Other than just to rush back to Nigeria so that they can feel sorry for you. And say, oh, bad people, yeah? Oh, they're those bad people. Now so that they do. You know, they are bad people. They don't want this country to progress. God will pass them. You should just continue doing what you are doing, okay? We are going to tell God to deal with them. Government, too. That's how ridiculous they sound. You would expect them, somebody like him, to begin to drop names and say, We thank God today that Tinubu has managed to identify those behind terrorism in Nigeria, right? And if not because of his hard work, we wouldn't have known that this person, that person, this person, this person, they are those behind terrorism in this place, that place, and that place. And they are currently under prosecution. You know what I mean? Not even investigation. They've been investigated and arrested. And suddenly, then you notice that all of this terrorism will just like subsided. And there is no way that anybody would then turn around and kind of like begin to say Tinubu is not working or whatever. You know what I mean? Like people will see it, they will feel it. But that is not what they are doing. They are just throwing the people, they are throwing them crumbs, stuffs that will make them have more excuses for the collusion of those in power who have chosen to continue to pull the wool over the eyes of Nigerians like on regular. And they are, I mean, it's so bad, right? That they themselves are beginning to believe their own lies. It is that sad that those who are, you will expect to be in the know, those who you will expect to actually be provided with all of the kind of information that you and I will never be privy to, like first-hand information, for them to be making this loose, useless kind of talk or politicizing it. Because to them, right, the reason why they can't defeat terrorism is because some people wanted Tinubu to look bad. Like, that is the excuse. You should be vigilant. Vigilant, who are we going to call? If terrorists come to your community right now, do you know who to call? If they are there to kidnap school children and they're like shooting and all that, do you know who to call? The police or the military? Well, let's go forward a bit, because right now in Nigeria, there are characters who are beginning to create this artificial kind of like fear. I know people are a little bit worried. Right now, everyone is suspicious of just everything around them. And therefore, some people are beginning to create this artificial fear. It was reported from Enugu yesterday, right? I think Unsuka also area, I'm not sure, right? Where school children were rushing out of their schools. I've seen quite a number of videos, right? Where children were being like removed from schools, or they're rushing out of like their schools simply because somebody raised an alarm. Bandits are coming, bandits are coming. I've also heard, I mean, I've seen videos where people said they received, imagine that they received a letter of notice from some faceless terrorists who wrote them and told them that they will be coming to that community very soon. Like the olden days when we used to hear about armed robbers writing to their would-be communities, right? So we are coming to rob you on Friday, sort of. But this was in Enugu.
See them.
Ndị be anyị ndị ozomago bụ ọ lejikwala ọzọkwa ya kwa na about 30 minutes ago na nke a na-emekọ na ndị kidnapper ha batakwa n'eze agụ ha gara ọha kidnap ụmụ akwụkwọ from ọha ime izu ebe a gaa iwolo mana amaghị nke asosidi kidnap ndị mmadụ bụta ọha ka ejigodo ekporo ụmụaka bara ime ọhịa kịta na-efuka skul na-agbagharagara onye ọbụla na-akpakwa ebe kpọrọ ụmụ ya akwa kunu abụ ndị nọ diaspora malụ onye na-eme na be anyị na-eme na ndị be anyị.
Parents are running helter-skelter to keep their children from school. I'm reporting live in Ogoma Junction. It's a popular Ogoma. That's the Wolo High School up there. So as you can see, both parents, guardians, everybody in the family, if you look at it in the kind of person that is missing them. When you open a just know about so the community may invade and the information reaching us now in the plan kidnap or and doing in one community in Ezago. So we don't know whether they.
That's just after I get. Hey, somebody that's my school. You got it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. No, Kamaka. Oh, who got it? Jesus. Okay.
My people, what happened is that I never confirmed this news because immediately I saw this video, I make a call.
It was purely fake news. And this kind of panics or scenes like that they are continually like being, created across Nigeria. That kind of makes it even worse. Parents now lives in fear of there's a possibility that they would have to like run back to the schools where they have their children and quickly like remove them. I think that's now part of the safety measures that families are now putting in place before you send your children to schools, especially public schools. Yeah. In the Bejuleki area, those local hunters or maybe local vigilantes, they are also keeping watch because people are beginning to tell them that they have started seeing some strange faces, some strange movements and all that. In Badagry, there is a report of an attack on some soldiers too, I think. Just yesterday, I think. Right? So in Lagos, this is Lagos, so I mean, that's in Lagos. So at the Bejuleki, when these guys received what he called like an alert, so they came around to take a look and then to assure the residents that, well, if it comes to having to, confront these terrorists by any means, they will not be found wanting, sort of. This was in Lagos, Bejuleki, or what will you call it?
Hello, Bejuleki. Akaro. CSC Folumo ló ń sọ̀rọ̀. Ìdòwò Owólabí alias Ìjọba Folumo. Inú gbó láwa yìí ní Mádàgbáyún ní Okegun side. Àgbẹ̀lẹ̀ àwọn sójà làjọ wá bẹ̀ báyìí tí wá báyìí. Àwọn tàjọ wá lélẹ́yìn. Tí wá báyìí inú gbó láwa yìí o. Wọ́n pè wá ní Májẹ́sí láàárọ̀ yìí pé àwọn bandits wọ́n rí wọn ní sáìdì Okegun ní Mádàgbáyún ní sáìdì Okegun. Ìbẹ̀lẹ̀ òun la pẹ̀lú àwọn sójà jọ wá lọ́wọ́ síbẹ̀ ẹ̀dì mọ́tò wà lélẹ̀ ẹ̀tìrì àwọn èèyàn wà lẹ̀ ẹni sálẹ̀ lọ́hùn àwọn wá àwọn pípú yẹn lọ ìbùtán náà ti rí wọn ẹ̀tì rí wọn àwọn èèyàn wà ló ń lọ sálẹ̀ lọ́hùn yìí sin ẹjọ́ àmọ́ àníìdì ìrànlọ́wọ́ o especially Àfọlúmọ́ àníìdì ìrànlọ́wọ́ o ẹ̀ má dáadáa ṣáà máa local government nìkan o Májẹ́sí náà gbé wa láàárọ̀ yìí sìn àfisáré wá sínú gbó yìí láti wá wo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ ẹjọ́ ẹ má dáadáa ṣe àmà local government nìkan Baálẹ̀ and ẹ̀yin king ẹ̀yin ọba wa ní Bẹ́jùlẹ́kì need your support fún gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Bẹ́jùlẹ́kì lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ló àwa ti fira wálẹ̀ láti ṣiṣẹ́ ìlú àbòyún ẹ̀dẹ̀ máa try àníìdí àdúrà yín o lọ́gọ́ máa ṣe wa kó má ṣẹ̀yìn náà ẹ má fi wálẹ̀ báyìí àníìdí ìrànlọ́wọ́ yín o fún gbogbo nǹkan tó bá ní ẹ̀tọ́ tó yẹ kẹ́ fún wa torí ìgbà tó bá pè wá kò ní dáa káwa Bẹ́jùlẹ́kì wá gbẹ̀yìn o onílù oníjó tú o I need the support yín o inú gbó Òkègùn làwa báyìí o inú gbó Òkègùn làwa yìí ọ̀nà jìn o bẹ́ẹ̀ làwa yìí o Ọlọ́run tó ṣe wá débi aṣọ àpàrà sílẹ̀ o thank you very much.
Anyway, so they have a group called Ìjọba Folumo. That's like the local, the neighborhood kind of watch. So he's appealing to the public to extend hands of support to them and not just leave it for the local government chairman alone. They are doing their best in support of the, the effort to get rid of bandits, the Fulani terrorists. In Lagos, they've surrounded the areas like Badagry, where Lekki, Bejuleki area, you know, because those are the area, and then Ikorodu, those are the areas where they can easily access vulnerable communities that are likely, cut off from the rest of civilization, even though they are in Lagos or they are meant to be like in the southwest of Nigeria, right? So that's what they do. They look for communities who are pretty much at the fringes of these states, places where even if you call for help, it may take forever. If it ever comes, right, it may take forever. And that is why they always have those who goes around, surveilling or whatever all over the place, doing their own surveillances, right? Spying on every, picking up any information about communities, the people, and all that, and then go back to report that to their armed branch, the terrorists themselves. So, but the military thinks no matter how much or how you see them, right, they strongly believe that they are still very much your hope, and you cannot totally like reject them, lose trust in them, and the blah, the blah, the blah. One of them was actually like toasting Nigerians that they are still very much your last hope.
To know that the armed forces is the armed forces of Nigeria, and everybody is welcome to join. All the propaganda that they are pushing around, that the armed forces is a sectional or is a tribal, whatsoever they want to say, it's not so. The armed forces is the custodians of unity of this country. And anything the armed forces is doing is to reflect that. So the armed forces, members of the armed forces are from all parts of this country. If you want to check Nigeria, the armed forces still remain the epitome of Nigeria. And so we should believe in our armed forces. In other climes, if you go, you see how they respect the armed forces. You enter plane, they will say member of armed forces first. Anywhere you move, in fact, they even sell to them at rebates. And so to encourage them, you need to encourage somebody to fight. Commonly, we have a football team. If they are entering stadium, you will see a lot of spectators coming to cheer them up. It means cheering somebody up is going to give him more energy to stand and do that thing you are cheering him up for. But in our own case, instead of being cheered, we are being bullied. It's unfair. And so I feel if we understand what encouragement is all about, we better start doing that. And we thank the good Nigerians that have the wisdom and the knowledge to understand that encouraging the military is the surest way out. We thank them for that, for having that knowledge. But we want the whole of Nigerians to come together with us and be on our own side of the divide to see how we can effectively send the terrorists packing. Thank you very much.
People don't trust them. Trust me, they don't. Not even now that people believe that the Nigerian military is very much compromised, right? But there are genuine soldiers in the military, but they have been mixed with other compromised ones. Those ones who have allegiance to some of these terrorists and therefore sabotaging whatever efforts that some genuine ones want to carry out. You know what I mean? Sabotaging that. That's even worse than terrorists actually killing you as a soldier. When you get betrayed by a member of your own team, somebody like your brother who was supposed to be having your back, and then for you to realize that they've sold you out already. You are just a walking dead. If you make it out, it's never going to be in one piece. You get what I mean? So they wanted to trust them. They wanted to still believe in that contraption, because the Nigerian army is almost the only one that unites the country. But who are they working for? Like typically, right, as a soldier, right, patriotic as soldier, watching everything going on as they are going on, I know constitutionally there's nothing you are meant to do by per se, right? But in the African context, right? If you have everything you can, won't you actually make a difference as a soldier with your history, right? But right now, Nigerian soldier almost from the head to toe, are all in the pocket of the politicians. Most of them are actually politicians in disguise or politicians in uniform. The moment they take off that uniform, you see them in Agbada. Former police IG want to be governor. Former chief of defense staff is now a minister. Now he's also hired to become governor of his own state someday. Yes, because suddenly he's a politician. Because that's who they all are. Even when you hear the way they are talking, I mean, Nigeria is a place where for more than 20 years or 30 years now, okay, Nigerian military, they have not won any real war, none. For the past 20 years, they haven't won any real war. And of course, for the past decade, they have been battling with this homegrown terrorism and the imported terrorism. And yet, in the last 20 years, we have seen general, 3-star general, 4-star general, general this, general that. You are wondering, you're not supposed to actually be a war veteran before you can get to the position of a general. So he's retiring as a general, You know, it's crazy. But anyway, that is that. This is how Femi Branch, I think, an actor, feels about the whole thing, and how Nigerians are very much, hitting these celebrities or celebrities, the Nigerian artists, so that they can't even have opinion anymore. When they keep quiet, people are dragging them. When they say something, people are dragging them. But it's because what the country has done to. Here is one of them.
For those of you who don't understand sarcasm, then it's because of when I pull down the video we are post before where they do this one. Because when people don't talk, you say celebrity, they talk and everything. When they talk, now the same you people will come out and start pulling them down when they say one thing that you think and you never listen. That's the problem. Your intelligence don't even carry sarcasm. That's the problem. Do you understand? That's the problem. And this is what these politicians, this is what they want. They don't want us to focus on them. They don't want us to be talking about. They want us to be attacking ourselves. Am I the problem? Is any celebrity the problem? We are not the problem of Nigeria. All of us, the hustle, like you said, the hustle. We are not the problem of Nigeria. But they want us to be attacking each other. They want us to be tearing each other down online to take our... It's not divide and rule, then they call them. They have cronies online. If you go some pages where some kind of content there where they attack government and you see some people there, they attack the person where they talk. No, say that the cronies of the politicians be that. They have boys online. They have girls online where they go different people page. Anybody will talk about any particular politician, they will attack them. It's their strategy, divide and rule. As long as we keep attacking ourselves, we'll forget about them. We are not the problems now, not them. So why don't we face them? I say poor man picking down the inside bush now for weeks. Now story we just hear English, now we just hear big man picking 4 days, they rescue the family of big man picking. I mean they rescue the family of big man in 4 days. The same law that applies to the poor man does not apply to the big man in this our Nigeria. That's the truth, that's the reality. If you have money and you have connection and you have power, then you are good. Things will happen for you. The government will move for you. But if you're a poor man where nobody know, where no nobody, or you are on your own, that's the truth. That is the truth. So let's stop attacking ourselves. Why are you not talking? Why you self not they talk? So most people that say why are people not talking, I go to their page, I say that they said they don't post anything. You self you know be Nigeria. This matter don't affect you self. We are calling on your state governor. The same power, the same energy where they put behind rescuing that big man's family, let them put it behind rescuing those poor children and the teachers in the bush and bring them home. That's what we're saying. So it is possible to rescue people that have been kidnapped in 4 days in this Nigeria. 4 days. Rescue them, no ransom. Whereas some people have been in the bush now, they say they are negotiating, they are giving them terms and all that kind of rubbish. Now, what will they talk with that? Stop attacking other Nigerians online who are talking. If you are not talking, then shut up. Stop attacking people. Face the problem. We are not the problem. Let us unite and face the problem. They want us to fight each other. Let us face them. They are our problems. The politicians, the government, they are our problem. Not we, not each other. Give yourself brain. If you don't give yourself brain, that's what they want us to be doing, to be fighting ourselves. Face the problem. Leave your brother alone.
To recruit from the youths who are unemployed, 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, agbado, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps. We create our food. That's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development. Don't call them illiterate. Don't talk about illiteracy. Anybody who can own gun, who can handle gun, who can cock gun and clean the chamber and cock and shoot is technically competent to repair a tractor. To recruit from
things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better. For Asiwaju is on the throne. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Mr. President, things are getting better. Hey, things are getting better for Nigeria. For Nigeria is on the way. Progressive government, things are getting better. Asiwaju, congratulations.
Well, in Nigeria, just do everything right to never get kidnapped. I don't know if that's even an advice, because nobody wanted to be kidnapped, right? No matter how much life is tough or whatever it is that you are going through, you never wanted to be kidnapped. But just do it because you're on your own. You're on your own. It must be one of the worst feelings ever. You are so hopeless. Like, if you look at some of those videos, if you watched some of them, and you can imagine, like, it is as if, that Nigerians, or maybe our forefathers, or, those kind of like the indigenous people of Nigeria, that they've offended these Fulani terrorists or their generations. And these ones are just here. And every time they look at Nigerians, like, once they look at them like this, they just see, I don't know, maybe they just see, I don't know what to compare it to. Because you can't even treat an animal the way these guys are treating Nigerians. That should ordinarily have infuriated those in authority. Somebody somewhere in authority should have felt so irritated enough that they should have ended this whole madness. But no, they're going to tell us why it is not that easy. Everything else is easy. If they take any of them or any of their family members, right, of course, they're going to get them out. That is if they ever succeed in taking any of their family members anyway. You get that? You get them out. They'll kill those they will have to kill. But not for the poor man. The same poor man who they all claim, or the poor people they all claim to be representing our people, our Nigerians, fellow Nigerians. I have a caller. Hello.
Hello, Maiyegun Baba.
Baba, how are you?
Greetings to you, dear, and greetings to all members of the temple.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So, yeah, I can hear you. So, greetings to everybody there. And when I know, when I was listening to this man called Akpabio, was just something was coming to my mind that can't we have somebody among these civil society groups or opposition to call these people out to a debate, to come and tell Nigerians who are those people behind, at least for the government, for a prominent government official to come out to say some people are there, some people are behind it. That means they know them. Then they should. I'm looking for somebody to call them out, to come and to challenge them, to name those people, or they should keep short forever.
But they are doing it for politics because that's the only defense they have. Do you get that now? To them, they don't have any way to explain to Nigerians why the Nigerian army.
Then now, because now they should be able to call them to come and tell them. Because just like these people, in everything they do, they mock Nigerians for their own failure.
That's it.
They mock that the way they say things at times. Look at the Tinubu. Some children are in terrorist den on Ileya Day. You are playing with your own grandchildren. You posted it online.
Mm-hmm. Insensitivity. They don't care.
So don't care. No, they don't care. Just like they don't. I pity the Nigerians because when I look at things, the other I read something online. Say this one of their idiots called Bamidele is saying that after the 11th Senate, I think they will make an amendment to the Constitution for 6 years single term.
Yes,
they are not even now. They are just telling you what they will do after they read the election of 2027. When they come back, they will now amend the Constitution and Tinubu. They now say that Tinubu will start on that 6 years single term again. Before you know it, will become Kogi of Nigeria.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it does, because Nigeria is already captured.
Okay.
You don't let us deceive ourselves. Nigeria is already captured.
We'll see.
So,
Baba.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let me give you for that. Yeah.
Let's try something. Let's go to the next one. Keneth Okonkwo, who is currently working to become spokesperson for Atiku, has dropped another controversial kind of like a bombshell. And according to him, the NDC, which is that of Seriake Dixon and Peter Obi, he said that some of their aspirants who are still waiting for the party to declare the result of their primary elections and the winners, said that behind some party officials have been taking bribes or squeezing these aspirants to cough out millions of naira, and with the promise that they are going to make them the candidates of the party, different levels. So then he went on to say one of their victims, right? One of them told him that it was Peter Obi that instructed them to make all of that payment to the party. However, he is accusing Peter Obi of fraud, and he's been calling him names. So in response, Peter Obi's legal team wrote him to what they call this deceased and what they call it resist or something, which means he should withdraw all of that defamatory statements because they are not true. And if he failed to do that, they would have to pursue a legal kind of like a lawsuit, where they will be seeking 5 billion naira compensation. Now, the person he mentioned has been involved as, I think the secretary of the party came out and said he lied. Okay. but he shared some WhatsApp conversations, right? But what the Obedient are very much upset about is the fact that why do you have to link Obi to what the party is doing when the party officials themselves are telling everybody that they will decide this or decide that. So if you are not dragging him that he's not using his influence to get ticket for his own supporters who also want to run for office or run for one or the other office in the NDC, right? You actually want to make him probably like, you know, he's supposed to be like a de facto leader or something. And therefore there is this presumed rivalry between him and Seriake Dixon, who they now call Supreme Leader, by the way. So Keneth went on Channels Television and he said all of this.
Anybody who is voting for NDC and P2B is voting for criminality. And I will prove it with facts. I will call names. There is one man called Obunike Ohebu, the House of Representatives aspirant, Newi North and Newi South, and Ekusigo local government from Anambra State. He sent an SOS to me, and he said that P2B is now the head of the criminality, that they were scammed in NDC. And he said, Pokwanso went back to his people and made sure that every constituency produced one candidate so that they will not be scammed. But P2B told them that all of them, the aspirants, should go into the field and that they thought they were going to have primaries. Remember, Seriake Dixon came out and said, once you pay your expression of interest form, you are not going to pay any money. When you are now the one that is nominated, that's when they will take nomination fee. And all of them ran into it. Then P2B and the leaders of the Southeast now went and told them, anybody who wants to be House of Rep person, after paying that expression of interest must pay 10 million naira bribe. And Senate 20 million naira bribe. When they were
bribe to who?
Bribe to the NDC and the caucus. They call them caucus leaders in the Southeast. This was what he wrote it and sent to me and sent me the receipt because they told him he needed money to campaign for his presidency. Now, when they were told individually, so they thought they were now the chosen candidate, that maybe that is the nomination fee. When all of them paid, they discovered there were many. Then we are now told to go into the field for direct primary. And when they now went into the field, they thought that there was going to be genuine primary. And as they were in that field, killing themselves, P2B was in John Wood Hotel. He mentioned the hotel, writing the list of candidates. And after that, they submitted it. You know what he said? He said, I am not disappointed that I lost the ticket. I am rather disappointed that I invested my time, resources, and reputation in a process that is becoming increasingly opaque and inconsistent with the democratic principles it proclaimed. And this is another man from Enugu State, a highly political person, sent to me. And you know what he said? He said, I have a direct taste of the fraud called P2B. Recently in NDC.
But we must put that, yes.
NDC has become a national dialogue for criminality.
No, but just a moment.
Discussion of criminal.
Mr. Okonkwo, you do acknowledge that that was the testimony of one person and it's an allegation.
No.
You haven't investigated that.
Hold on.
To be able to say you did your own investigation and you found it to be true.
What, did you know what Aisha said? He said they did not even give me, I'm not talking about level playing ground. They did not give me ground at all. He said it on TV. I'm talking about corroboration. A lot of them have said it. And you know why I'm annoyed? You said I did the investigation. I am the leader of ADC in Enugu State. The same people we thought that they will not extort the aspirants. They are the people that went to NDC and they started extorting the aspirants. NDC has come out with a statement trying to distance themselves from what is happening in the Southeast. And they said it is the caucus leaders in the Southeast that are responsible. P2B from Anambra State, Okwesilezenwodo from Enugu State, Ugochukwu Onyema from Abia State, Achiku Demwa from Imo State, and What else is remaining?
Yeah, but don't you think that
Yes.
is? I mean,
Sam
I'm not trying
Five
to
states in the southeast.
exonerate
You know what
anyone.
I'm telling you? We want to bring new leadership in the southeast because of leaders like this. That is why southeast has been coming last in Nigerian politics. Southeast people are marginalized in the
They were supposed to be opposition. Do you get that? Working to remove the incumbent government. But in all honesty, right? Apart from the fact that Kodu is a complete failure, he is also the most luckiest politician. It's no strategy. Now, if you come to look at some of these characters or these guys, right? I mean, the way they talk about themselves, right? I can understand if oppositions talks about the government of the day with passion, anger, in that kind of context, because the country is out, the country is not safe. What is it doing? You know what I mean? It would have made sense. But these were the guys who wanted to come together, form a coalition, pretended, right, that they have something in common. They were meeting, they were laughing, right? They were giggling, patting themselves. It was all looking good. But they were lying to themselves. They all had their own several motives hidden behind. Putting up appearances. The moment the curtains was like off and the gloves were off, that's it. Could you imagine Keneth Okonkwo, right, investing so much energy and time to talk about Peter Obi and link him and continue to call him a fraud, NDC is fraud, and all of this, if you come to look at it, right, the APC, because Obian is obedient and others are in NDC now, right, they are attacking them. They have a lot to say about them every day. PDP, boys, they have a lot to say about them. ADC, Accuse boys, they have a lot to say about them. And just them. And I'm like, apart from the APC, right? How come they all have this energy? They have this, zeal to go after anything Obi in this manner. Try to link him up to something, anything at all, right? Every day, everyone is coming up with something. That energy. They don't really have real energy to actually tackle Tinubu anymore. To the point that the Articles people, they are saying, instead for Peter Obi and his group to form government, Tinubu should continue. Peter Obi supporters also have so much energy for the Article people, don't get me wrong. So to them too, if it's not going to be Peter Obi, instead of it to be Atiku, Tinubu should continue. You see how lucky Tinubu is. He is just right there in the middle. And looking for which of them they will just need to add small fuel, petrol, into their midst. And they will do the job themselves. They are already trying to exterminate themselves. Now back to the allegations, where they are beginning to rape people off. So here, the Nigerian mentality of a thing, right? They told people enough that what other political parties were doing, this godfatherism, this what we call the Baba Sokwe in Yoruba land, we will follow normal protocols. The son of nobody can become somebody kind of ideology, only for them to switch that off. Me, I have got my own concern for that. It's just that I'm not pretty much disappointed. Like, I don't have any expectation of any of these guys who are preparing themselves or pretending to be preparing themselves for 2027 charade. an election that is obviously like flawed, even before the first ballot is casted, right? As we know, technically. How do you conduct primary elections and you don't announce winners right away? Does that even make any sense? We saw the charm they conducted in APC. We saw the charm the ADC conducted, but they did announce results that you can question. How do you go into a political group where some group of people have become kind of like the deciders, right? You had people go out to go and do primary elections, captured, broadcasted everywhere. And then everyone was looking forward to, okay, what's the result? Who are the candidates? It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. That is not normal. That is absolute trash. Associating Peter Obi with that can give a lot of question mark, but that doesn't kind of like link him with any fraud. Seriake Dixon and his own men who are running their things the way they are doing right now, that the obedience, surprisingly, are comfortable with. The fact that Peter Obi is the presidential candidate, everything else is probably like, all right, but it's not all right. It's absolute nonsense. Now they are telling their members that they are going to announce the winners of the primary elections that they conducted nearly 2 weeks ago. They will announce that on the 15th of June. That means they would have perfected who they wanted in or who they don't want in, creating this level of, you know what I mean? Cracks. Because what happened then is the allegations of people collecting money to slot in names of those who probably missed out from APC, PDP, and other places. Once that manifests, is the purpose not defeated? Is that not going to be like criminals flying on the wings of Peter Obi and the obedience? And then the two Kwakwansos. In Kano, they are fighting over slots too. They are fighting over how, they said they had to share the, this whole thing among themselves, elective office, as well as party offices. So they were to share that with Kwakwanso. And the idea they gave, the agreement was that Kwakwanso will give them 60%. And the other guys who have been in the NDC before them will give 40%. And Kwakwanso was like, who are those people? So he was willing to take 100%. So that one is creating his own friction. All within DV. Probably like all of them out of the normal democratic practice. Giving room to this guy, Keneth Okonkwo. It is said that Atiku himself is currently hunting, kind of like searching for a VP. Maybe until they get their own VP. He would rather dissipate his own energy about Obi. Then he went on to say that leaders like Peter Obi is the reasons why the Southeast Nigeria is always behind. Why is that?
Because of leaders like this. That is why Southeast has been coming last in Nigerian politics. Southeast people are marginalized in the federal government. We fight to eat. And after that, some of our leaders are calling us and scamming us. I told them that Peter is going to scam them.
Yeah, but
that is a political con man. Look at what is happening.
I'm saying that again.
You will go to diaspora. I don't give shish, but you collect shish.
Mr. Okonkwo, I think it's important. I think it's important to still put that this is an allegation. That is one. It is an allegation that it must be taken. And then two, some people will also say that isn't this more in the nature of how we play politics?
You see that anger on his face? I don't give shishi. There is no evidence that anybody sent money to Obi. Do you get that? But he's collecting shishi. These leaders like this are the reason why we are. They are scamming. But that's a Keneth. He said worse about Atiku. If you care to watch the video, right? He said worse about people like that. Then he praised the Bokwari so well when he was in APC, but it didn't work out. Okay, so he went to PDP, and it didn't work out as well. And he went to Labour Party with Peter Obi in 2023. That too didn't work out because he expected, as we were told, he expected that an office of kind of like public relations and whatever in the party, in the campaign, that will be given to him will come with some level of kind of like money, mobilization, but it didn't come as expected. So he is accusing Peter Obi of going to the diaspora to convince the diasporans to collect their money, and is looking for money for his presidential campaign. And that is why they decided to put together this scam, whereby people will be told, once you pay this money, you are already going to be the candidate, only for you to realize that after you paid, right, there were others who also paid. So you are still an aspirant, you are not a candidate. That is what he's saying. Right, so they have written him now that he should withdraw that statement because none of that is true. And if you have any allegation, if anybody has allegations against the NDC, you shouldn't kind of target to Peter Obi. But however, I think if they said NDC collected money, we'll probably be having this conversation. We won't. And that's why they have to tag everything to Obi. But here is a guy who I think is the secretary of their NDC replying. I mean,
limit this to what he said, I said.
Okay.
So he said that the party, the National Caucus, told us to pay 10 million naira. That is the issue. I never said that, and it's not in the message. And I will want this conversation to limit it to what he said, I said. What he said on the national TV.
Yes, we're limiting it to that because what he said is that, and this is very ridiculous because it looks like we're doing she said, he said. But what he said and the allegation which he made was that the presidential candidate of your party, the NDC, is running a criminal enterprise. That whoever it is that votes for the presidential aspirant or the presidential candidate of your party is not just voting for the All Progressives Congress, as he had said before, but was also supporting the criminal enterprise being run by your candidate. And he cited your message as evidence of that.
And that message he cited is that I said he asked us to pay 10 million naira. That's what I'm still talking about.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, Peter Obi never told me to pay 10 million naira. I never told Keneth Okonkwo that Peter Obi in any way told me to pay 10 million naira. The person who asked me to pay 10 million naira is the national secretary.
Yes. Okay.
So I also mentioned that the caucus, he said the caucus leaders.
Yes.
I told him I never had a meeting, any consultation, any meeting at all where consensus was discussed. So I could never have been in the position to have been told by the National Caucus to pay 10 million.
So going to other things that he said here, I mean, because he said you mentioned the name of the hotel. That clearly is in your message here. I'm looking for the portion where he said that the names were collated at John Wood Hotel. Yeah, this is it. So while many of us were on the ground participating in the primaries, allegations emerged that lists of candidates had already been prepared at John Wood Hotel in Abuja. The situation became even more troubling when the party, in its press statement signed by the National Secretary, distanced itself from the controversial list while simultaneously acknowledging circumstances that effectively rendered the outcome of our primaries meaningless. The question is, who was in John Wood Hotel?
I should tell you. What I said there is there was an allegation.
Yes.
There was an allegation that the list has been prepared in John Wood.
Okay. You do not know who.
I did not. You have the message.
Yes. So what I'm saying is,
I never said. I never
you
said
did not
so.
say anybody was in.
I
John
never
Wood.
said so.
A list of candidates was being prepared there, but the situation became more troubling when the party, the National Secretary, distanced themselves from that particular allegation, meaning that they as a party were not aware, but somebody was there.
If you read down, you will see where I said that the party that could not organize primaries is shifting blame. You didn't see that, did
you? Yes. I've seen this. He said even more disturbing is the fact that the same statement signed by the National Secretary appeared to shift responsibility for the Anambra situation to Peter Obi. Is that not correct?
So, I'm talking about the party who is shifting blame. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, I'm even disappointed. Like this morning, I was reading through Valentine Obienye's web. He's taking on me that I didn't support His Excellency when he was governor. He was threatening my history. Unfortunately, the statement that was issued by the National Secretary limits this to what he said, I said.
Okay.
He said, I said, and he said, and all that. So the bottom line is that the guy said, whatever allegation he was making it against the party caucus, okay, which probably is the party caucus for the Southeast. However, he never pointed fingers at Obi. But this conversation wouldn't be happening right now if Keneth did not link it to Obi. He did not just link it to Obi, he repeatedly called him a fraud that said he doesn't give shishi, where he's collecting millions from people because he needed money for his presidential campaign. That is direct. So the person you claim told you now said, well, it wasn't Obi. Obi never told him to pay any money. And there was nowhere that he met with him where they discussed on consensus and all that. So the wala will now continue. Okay. A guy spent $3.5 billion, and that is not the money Nigeria had, though. It's actually money they had to borrow, a loan, $3.5 billion. It was meant to revive the two Nigerian refineries, Port Harcourt refinery and then the Warri refinery. Now, Mele Kyari, the then group managing director of NNPC, who announced towards the end of 2022 that the refineries were working quite back on, and they did some media runs and, all these media photo ops and all that to convince millions of Nigerians, despite the fact that questions were being raised. Somebody like myself raised a lot of questions, which automatically made me realize that it was all fraud. But how could $3.5 billion just disappear like that? There should be answers, right? But there is none. So when Mele Kyari or when Tifnubu came in, Mele Kyari turned on the generator at the Port Harcourt refinery, flew some media or journalist guys to go in there and report that the refinery was working. And guess what? The the pipeline that supplies the crude oil that usually service this refinery has been destroyed for a very long time during this wahala of insurgency of Niger Delta militancy, right? And it's never been fixed, ever. But Mele Kyari was able to convince idiots. And this was pretty much elaborated by the Ronu coups, the Ronu Nazis, the Ronu bastards. Okay? So, but it didn't last. 2 months after that, no, it wasn't 2 months. A month after that, this was in 2023. No, rather, 2024. Yeah, when they announced that the two refineries rose back to life. They never rose. They were dead. $3.5 billion gone. The Nigerian Senate opened a probe into that, and they realized that these guys actually really took care of themselves. In a nutshell, it was a bazaar. Billions of dollars stolen. It wasn't just that. It was also during this time that Nigeria suddenly started losing more than 60% of what should have been daily oil production to oil bunkers. When APC, Egbekegbe, took power in 2015, it was on record that even the Port Harcourt refinery was working at what they called 55% capacity. And that was the reason why Nigeria wasn't really importing too much fuel, except when APC came in. So the refinery died, and Mele Kyari, who automatically came as your GMD. Nigeria was losing over 50,000 barrels of crude oil to oil thieves every day, right? 50,000 barrels. That was the estimate. And fast forward to 4 years later, Nigeria was conveniently losing over 800,000 barrels of crude oil every day. That's massive. You will need a huge, big vessel to actually steal that kind of quantity of crude oil. From a country like Nigeria, it's going to require collaboration of a lot of agencies, a lot of other people that are meant to stop you, but they will look away. The oil thieves were traveling deeper into Nigeria. They were stealing crude oil from oil rig in Ondo State. Yeah, it was that bad. Nigeria was losing over 21 million barrels of crude oil every month. And it was also losing money. That's also when we realized that these guys were using Nigeria's remaining crude oil as debt collateral. They were promising the future oil prospects in Nigeria to debtors, or to creditors rather. They were taking loans and promising these guys that if they didn't pay back, they could come and take a certain amount of crude oil. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of barrels of crude oil as payment. So there was no real plan for future, right? So in the long run, that's not the only thing though. Suddenly, Nigerian NNPC that used to publish how much crude oil they sold last month and how much money they are sharing this month, kind of like they were always doing that when, 10, 15 years ago. Nigeria used to, I used to read that in the newspaper, right? That NNPC sold, you get that? Then that stopped under the APC, right? That's not the only thing that stopped. Remitting the proceeds of crude oil sales to the Central Bank of Nigeria, as the law stated, became a problem. Because what happened? NNPC started missing payment that they were supposed to remit back to the Federation account, an account purposely opened at the Central Bank of Nigeria to receive the proceeds of crude sales. And that's how Nigeria missed over 210 trillion. That's how much they called it. So they said Nigeria lost over $210 billion in the process, unaccounted for. Crude oil sold, but money never remitted. The story is so worse, right? But the guy who was behind all of that, just walked away. He just walked away. But Oshiomhole is saying, no, that's not right. They have now declared him wanted. And they've issued an arrest warrant for him to come and answer some questions. Not like we're going to get any answers, but anyway, or is ever going to get punished for that. No. They're just going to create another spectacle. Show to you the criminals who also have their own share of the pie of your national cake. And they walked away. Money that could change lives of generations. In this country right now, imagine $200 billion. Where did they go? Who are those kind of consortium that managed to carry that out successfully? And who are those shielding them? I don't know. Here is Oshiomhole on the matter.
Procedural issues. And listening to the appropriate section as raised by and read by Distinguished Senator Babangida, it is clear that even we don't have any discretion. When the law says you shall, you must. We are under command and we cannot sit here and betray the very rules without which we can't be here. I said so before, that there are some people who, because of the way in which the country and certain institutions have been run, they see themselves as bigger than Nigeria. I hold the view that the law is effective when it catches a lion, not when you descend on a rat or a rabbit a man who stole a rat or a rabbit. And that is the crisis of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, this committee must have the courage, the will to deploy its powers as enunciated in the Nigerian Constitution and issue warrant, not tomorrow, today, and bring Mele Kyari, even dead or alive, in law. They will call habeas corpus. Even if he's dead, we want to see the body. And he will account. As you say, here lies a man who died without accounting for his alleged crime that rose into trillions of naira. We are not talking of billions of naira. At the time when the country is borrowing money, we have huge sources of money that have not been accounted for. There are serious issues not raised by laymen, raised by competent auditors. And the man is joking. Where did he have the money to pay for his medical bill in Germany? Those who are dying here, what happens to them? So I think that it is not for us to try to amend the rules that we have already agreed on. Having failed repeatedly, a serious failure, we cannot condone it. And number two, sir, you are a corporate man, we all have our backgrounds. Maiyegun Kyari cannot be represented by a person. He's no longer a managing director. And his responsibility is to account for his actions as MD. He cannot be represented in that capacity. And so to tolerate it is for us to be collectively guilty, individually and collectively, of not having the will, and in fact it's about will, to do what the Constitution obliges us to do. So the same argument that we make for the MD, because I hear the current MD is not there, so that we don't have to go and use different rules. The current MD is also not here. And in a former meeting, we had said we will not allow anyone to be represented. Sir, the reason today Nigerians are not afraid of police is because they have discovered that the police fire goes to the air to scare. Weapons are not meant to scare. If you carry a weapon, it is meant to be used for only one purpose, when you fire a bullet. And that is why people are still more afraid of the army. But when a soldier carries a weapon and fires, his intention is not to scare, it's to break down. So I hold the view that under your leadership, end to exceptions, end to excuses. I will invoke our powers to order the arrest and of Mele Kyari and of the managing director of NNPC. Both the past and the present, they are guilty of the same offense. Total disregard to the Nigerian Constitution and unable to account for the gross abuse of a major source of revenue, running into trillions of naira.
Did you hear that? So they've been inviting him, right? Initially, he said he was unwell. So he traveled to Germany for medical care. And that's been like about 2 years now. So, no, not 2 years, rather. It's like about a year now. So they are now issuing his arrest warrant if he failed to show up. What's he going to say? The EFCC should actually be dealing with him. By now, there are many other culprits, I believe. He's probably never going to. He's never going to be held responsible anyway. Nah. Where is Shadia? Remember Shadia, the Minister of Poverty and Disaster Improvement or something? That lady, I wouldn't say stole all of that, okay? That lady supervised the embezzlement of over 4 trillion naira. Trust me, over 4 trillion naira in the name of poverty alleviation, right? Poverty alleviation, where they can't really trace the money. They said they shared the cash. And that's what they did. Trillions of naira. So today there is a court asking her to refund nearly nearly a trillion naira. A court ordered that she should pay back 950 something billion naira That's how much they found that she actually mismanaged. But that's not all. Over 4 trillion naira, while people languished in different IDP camps, refugee camps, women, children living in squalor like that. But these heartless criminals actually feels like they are serving you. So Kolu created these development commissions, right? I think it was last year, okay? And he commissioned them, development commission for regions, all right? They are meant to carry out some private, no, not private. They are meant to carry out some special projects in the regions. You have the Southwest Development Commission. I don't even know what those ones are doing. Do you? Because they've actually released more than 50, well, according to that, they've released more than 100 billion naira to the Southwest Development Commission. To the Southeast Development Commission, they've also released over 40 billion naira to them too. So now they are probing those ones, okay? They are probing them according to Oju's Okalu, the ex-convict senator. So they saw part of their receipts, right? They discovered that the commission spent over 18 billion naira on hotels, on this, on that, but they can't really pinpoint what projects they have managed to implement in the Southeast. So they called their director, is that what they call them? Yeah, director of the Development Commission, a young man, right? So, and these kind of exchanges happened. So I'll show you in their Senate. The same thing, no problem for money.
President, I want to ask you, you received 16.6 billion. How much is left in your account?
Which is what we are going to.
No. That is what you told them.
No, sir. Which is
what Tabaribe just told you left 29 million. That's what you wrote. You're under oath.
So they are coming. We'll come to that. Let's start from where it all started. And he was trying to explain some of their old questions, by the way. Here.
I would like to welcome all of you to this meeting.
We thank the Senate Committee, SCDC Senate Committee, for the cooperation support. This is the 5th time we'll be meeting in the last year and 3 months. And every single one of those sessions have given us more ideas, more conviction, and more support to ensure that we deliver the goods for the people of the Southeast. We don't comment procurement processes saying there's this amount in the bank, we have 10 programs we want to do, just do a procurement for 100 billion, whereas all you can see is 10% of that in your bank. We go further to say, of the funds that are available, how can we make some internal allocations to it? And for those allocations to influence the procurement process. Because oftentimes what tends to happen, if I design a procurement process for Southeast Agro Development Program, saying we want to do 10,000 hectares, that may cost you 40 billion naira. But if all you have for that program, realistically, is 2 billion, you've embarked on a procurement process that may award contracts to the tune of 40, but you have cash backing of just 10% of that amount. So what we do internally when we say implied allocations is that we look at the funds because we are promised, the budget says we have 140, but from the experience, we don't expect and we're not planning a situation that there will be a variance in what is released. And so as the funds are being released, we're constantly doing allocations internally, and those allocations then influence the procurement process. Most distinguished and chairman members, we could have just said this money is sitting here and X amount has been spent. But this clarity, what we have just done, and if you allow me go through, you will understand the projects and the programs that we're about to implement. And we're going to do it jointly and we'll do it in conjunction.
No. Can we start from page 17?
No, but I have other questions. My senator, yes, but my senator has asked me questions on the 250 recruitment. There are questions from me. So
just start that appendix.
No, but you know why I say this, sir? Mr. Chairman, sir. Permission to explain on one or two things, because the last times we were here, there was a question which I did not address, and the media put a spin on it. So, and there is media here, so I want to explain and address.
I don't allow you to go here, you answer it. If you are then you are 8. Shut down all the questions. They are asking, go to page 17.
Okay.
And explain.
So I should not explain the office issue, and I should not explain the recruitment issue.
I want to know page 17. Please, we don't want to leave anything hanging. We will not want to leave anything hanging.
No, most distinguished. I'm appealing because there is media here, and they will hear questions, and it can... Page 17.
Because that's where you know that situation. I would like to welcome all of you to this meeting.
You know, now the interesting part, okay? So this is where some said the reasons why the senators are probing may not automatically be because they are interested in the developments. The reason why they are interested in probing could be for two reasons, the two of them. They didn't get their cut when money was released, because in the Nigerian National Assembly, right, budgets are proposed, like written by ministries, agencies, departments, parastatals, all of them like that. So they will send them to the Senate. So when they get to the Senate, the senators, they will now cook the budget, all right? For example, let's say Southeast Development Commission, they have a budget of 200 billion naira. So the Nigerian senators, right, and their other colleagues, right, at the committee level, they will then add their own, which can then increase it to maybe 500 billion naira. And this is how they gamble it. They are not expecting 500 billion naira release. Like when it is time for release of funds, right? All these agencies and all of these departments, they are not going to expect 100% fund to be released. So in their calculations, right, maybe if they release 100 billion, to them, they already have projects, fake projects inserted into this, these ministries and all that, okay? So they follow them through. And that's when they will invite you and say, come. Did they not tell you that it was because of us that your budget is high? We say, thank you, senators. We appreciate you. Say, no, it's okay. Here is the list of contractors. You see your budget that there are some projects there. You did not put them there, did you? You say, no, we didn't, but there are things we can handle. No, you can't handle them. We have inserted 50 projects, and that 50 projects will cost 200 billion naira. That's not for you. They are for these contractors. So every time money is released, you ensure that they get paid too. That's how they run it. Those projects will not be done. Forget about it, they won't be done. So when this person failed to give the contracts to their assigned contractors, or failed to actually really package some money under whatever guise and then push it to them, then they will call you and probe you and then create spectacles for us to watch, like this one. Still on the matter.
Question I want to ask you. You received 16.6 billion. How much is left in your account?
Which is what we are going to. No.
That is what you told them.
No, sir. Which is what
Abari just told you left 29 million. That's what you wrote. That's what you wrote. You're under oath.
Yes, sir.
You're under oath.
I'm under oath, and I explained what I mean by.
No. Wait. How much? Just answer my question. Don't divert it. How much is left in the bank today? Excuse me. No, please. I didn't ask you any question. It's to the MD.
Can I answer?
Yes.
I can answer, Mr. Chairman.
I ask you a direct question.
Yes. At the last I checked, and the last information that was given to me, the SCDC should have at least between 11.5 to 12 billion in its account.
You have 13.something billion as of today.
I said last I was.
No, as of today, I'm looking to Central Bank. You're in our committee. We are in the committee. We have access to anywhere you can spend money and keep money. These people you see here, they are not the people you know. We are government officials. I have spoken to Central Bank. I can go to my office and give you the documents now. And we have sent the accountant auditor general will come to audit everything you have done, because I'm not impressed. You are giving us this route. Look at that paper. Completed and imperative and not imperative. What does that mean? It means nothing in English. We are not satisfied with your job. This is not a job somebody that claims to be an expert like you should be doing. I'm very disappointed, and this committee is very, very, very disappointed. I will give you 1 week to go back and tell us the whole truth on this thing and come back to the committee, because you are wasting our time.
Mr. Chairman, I informed you about that on Friday.
No.
And you said I must come.
No.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. And I have evidence why I informed you. I said that documents are being put together.
No,
and we'll come back.
I don't even want to argue with you.
And you said that we must come and speak to them.
Now,
and then after that, we'll go and bring the documents and document them and present.
Listen to me.
That's what you
go
said
back
to me, sir.
We want to see you back next Tuesday.
Who is in charge of accounts? I am happy that
because you have one little office here in Abuja and you pay 153 million by one room. This committee goes
in Abuja.
Then yes, of course, it's true.
The committee can come to an oversight visit to our office. Our office.
No, we are not going to come there. We send our clerk and people to go. We don't want to have anything to oversight. Your headquarters is in Enugu.
Okay, sir.
And we don't want to hear anything that you are spending money. You spend 153 million. We have evidence. Listen to me. You are dealing with people who are gone far than you think we can go. This is why I'm warning you people, let us not continue this joke here, because if these gentlemen here release what they want to ask, you will not be able to leave this place. That is the truth. And I want to save you the problem. Go back, we'll keep these documents, go back in the next 1 week, you come back at 2 p.m. Give us the real documents. I would like to stand, okay, 3 p.m. I would like to stand this committee adjourned.
I'll be having a PhD next week.
Mr. Chairman, I had informed you the amount of time we required.
No, we can't give you that time.
I informed you the amount of time that we required.
No, we can't give you that time.
But you prepared this.
We can't
bring the details. I don't know who prepared this, but you're talking about contracts awarded, and you did not even give us the figure.
No. I'm not going to the argument. I want you here on Tuesday next week by 3 p.m.
But those are simple facts.
I will show you, because we need you, and when you are coming, bring all the people in the accounting office.
The first thing is contract amount. Something like that.
Oh, next week. Yes.
The farmer will make more money. Your lunch will not be imported. Cassava gari, the farmers will make money.
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so corrupt, which
it is actually very much unfair, by the way. But man, I'm so used to having my glasses on. I wanted to make adjustment and then I touched my eyeball. That's crazy. Right. So we are dealing with career criminals, okay? So you probably saw all of that play out, and you might think they were doing their job. They're not doing any job. I've told you the whole context behind all of that display, all of that. If the guy is paying them well, giving them contracts, because they are all businessmen, they are all contractors. Your lawmakers are contractors in Nigeria. They're always fighting for contracts. And that is why they compromise everything. And the moment where they can't have their way, then they want to show off. They want to show that they are doing their duty and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, it just never really goes anywhere. Let's get to see more of that. It's crazy, right? So a few days ago, I told you about the developing kind of like a problems in the Delta part of Niger Delta. Yeah, where Tumpolo of Tantiata, being at Tinta, I mean, Tatiata, yeah, it's Tatiata. The guy who has been receiving the billions of naira contract every month to provide security for Nigeria's crucial infrastructure, the Nigerian crude oil pipelines. Then extended to also be providing maritime security. I mean, his team have been noted to have arrested the ships of the illegal oil bunkers on the water of Nigeria. And at the same time, there are those who have accused him as well of, being involved in the same stealing of Nigerian crude oil. So the same corruption of where they can look away, where their own interest is involved. So they look away. And when their interest is not, then they want to do their job. But this one happening in the Niger Delta has to do with, I think, a delineation. INEC wants to do this really, what do you call that thing again? Like remapping of the current political map. Okay. The example I can give for you to understand what I mean is that it is like having this part of Lagos, like Ikorodu. Okay. For those of you who have been to Lagos, that's the closest I can use. All right. So, you know, Ikorodu, right? Sometimes it is unbelievable, right? To know that Ikorodu is part of Lagos. When you are in Ikorodu, it's like you have left Lagos and you're already in Ogun State, kind of. Now imagine that some people in Ikorodu, okay, are moving to, no, not people in Ikorodu, some people in Ogijo or Shagamu, they are moving to have INEC remap the political kind of like map of Lagos, where Ikorodu will now be in Ogun State. Okay? And therefore, those seats, like House of Reps, House of Assembly, maybe Senate or whatever it is, that usually goes from there as to represent Lagos are now going to be like Ogun State. So they are fighting that the Supreme Court ordered that should be done, while others are using their power to make sure it's not done. Now that has created protest on water. Have you ever seen people protested on water before? Yeah, because Tompolo and his guys are now already extending their kind of like influence to the areas that ordinarily they shouldn't, according to the local arrangement there, right? But now they are. So all those oil companies, servicing companies, and the rest of them operating in this axis that is about to be delineated, right, are told not to deal with the people from that side anymore. They would have to now deal with Tompolo people. Ijo versus Ishekiri. Now they protested there yesterday on water, women and others. And they are saying that things can get out of hand. I mean, it can become bloody in the coming days. Tompolo was told to stay off. However, 2 days ago, he was reported to have carried out a blockade whereby, you know, they can be like, you can't pass here anymore. This boat or that boat can't cross here anymore. That kind of a thing, Sha. So the Shekiri youth resisted it. And their women protested a day after. I'll show you. This was in Delta State, Niger Delta of Nigeria.
It's not good. But it's not good now. It's a threat now.
This is happening live at my location. Happening live at my location. Peaceful protest.
When community give instruction like that, those who are life as a fight for, you do what you want. And as you have come now, in a peaceful protest, don't be saying I'm going to come and create any problem or destroy anything. Yes, sir. So, as you have come, we welcome you. We pass your information and so
assurance to they should not deceive them now. They should not deceive the Chinese now. To come and do what? Give assurance. All is not well, oh. All is not well, oh. Any assurance now? I wish I could speak Chinese. I would have speak Chinese. All is not well yet, oh. They have not settled us. So no assurance. It will not be friendly, oh. Now so they will come. 2022, they come with us for the gate. That may end like this. They talk sweet talk. That's how we agree. They will clean and they take over 200,000. See our life for you. Nobody take 200,000. You're going to deceive us again. Chinese, Chifu, here, in our way. All is good.
Last question.
So those guys are called the casual workers, working for some of the oil servicing companies or oil companies in this part of Nigeria. So all is not well. So everybody is kind of like agitated now, and that can actually blow out. So I am going to keep monitoring that. In Lagos, right, where I told you the last time, the activities of the land grabbers, the Omoniles. The land grabbers are meant to be criminals. So what do you call the head of a land grabber who is a king, legal kingo, right, who is also very much involved in land grabbing? What do you call that person? A criminal, of course, but he is operating within a system that is so criminally, right, that people like him will never be held responsible. Lives have been destroyed. People have been made homeless because of the greed of the few that seem to be above the law. In Oworon Shoki, they continued taking people's homes because they won't pay whatever imposed fine by this particular king in Oworo, in Lagos. Yet, right, they lost their properties without any protection from the state, from the government, from anybody. It's also Woro.
ẹ máa sun ọjà mi ẹ máa sun owó tèmi lẹ́yìn tẹ̀gbàwó ṣé mo gbowó lé ni ṣé mo gba owó ní pálásì ni ẹ lè sun o a máa kó ó máa ní sùúrù ni ẹ máa ní sùúrù ni a máa kó ó lè fẹ́ gbóúnjẹ lẹ́nu nìkan ní kí n má ṣe fídíò a máa kó ṣé mo nílé bíbá ìlú ẹ ṣáà ti gba létẹ fẹ́ gbà ṣé yẹn.
I have to take that out because of that because of the sound. So they took their home and they also wanted to burn their properties. So they invited some of the victims to the palace to come and collect compensation, like just like that. Today you have a house, tomorrow you don't. Now they are giving you a check to go and work, find something else to do because some powerful people have decided to take your land. They wanted it for something, you know, and there is no protection, nothing. You can go to court and you can spend whatever savings you have left. You can expend all of that going to court, and then you're still going to lose. Yeah, that's what rotten system kind of like operates like. You don't want to be the victim, trust me. But every day, even those who don't want to be victims, right, are just the potential victims. They would be victims eventually. That is what a rotten system does. And a society that is so lawless, right, is even dangerous, right, to everyone. Even if you are thriving in it, it doesn't guarantee that, right, you'll be safe. A lawless place where you think you can just get away with anything. If you're not caught, well, that's it. You can get away with it. A guy recorded an accident on their uncompleted coastal road, right, where an unknown driver decided to test run their vehicle, the speed of their vehicle on this new road. So stupid enough that he oversped and ran into a barrier. It was horrible. That was 2 days ago on their coastal road in Lagos.
Drive along this coastal road here, just notice some section of the road still under construction. This one and immediately after Ibrahim Adesanya. Then carry barricade, block this road because it's under construction. But too much speed, check the kind of speed where this man drive. He hit this barrier from here. He hit this barrier now from here. Can't hit this barrier till the barrier go reach there. You know, when this barrier they heavy now. See where he from hit this barrier from here to here. Then he pieces your own motor, just pieces everything, scatter everything. See how motor just see the guy blood there. On this thing now happen for night. Nobody even know. Now police now, Nigerian police force now, as then they patrol along the coastal road, then come see this motor for here now. Now then come they help. According to the policemen now, they don't dey here since 3 a.m. Where they don't dey here. I beg, if you drive here, take suffering. The road fine, is sweet. But for your life here, slow down. Most of the road they under construction. God bless Nigeria and kudos to Nigerian police force. Drive along this.
They be drunk. Yeah. And that's not why why Tifnubu is constructing the coastal road. Because according to Rat, right, our husband is constructing the coastal road because air flights or airfare are becoming very expensive in Nigeria and all over the world. But the coastal road is to help people who can't afford the airfare to travel, I think. Rat.
Nigeria is such a great country. And now you can see airports emerging. So I know you will say, oh, the flights are so expensive. Everywhere in the world, even in America, flights are expensive. And that's why Mr. President is doing the coastal roads. Not only coastal road, even trying to have rail lines. And so I know the previous administration started the rail line, And, we continue, we keep building. Nigeria has a huge future ahead of it. And by the grace of God, very soon, we all will be beneficiaries of the success of what Nigeria will become. Nigeria is such a great country.
That's a rat. Nigeria's a vex lady. Okay? But the coastal road, still talking about the coastal road, by the way. Somebody also made a video calling the attention of the contractors or the engineers to a section of the same road that's already cracking. And if that is going to endanger the project, still ongoing.
Okay, today is 8th of June. I beg you, here now the walkway of the coastal road. If you check this flower where them plant so now, sand dey under here. Here na place where them sand fill. I beg you, if you see this video, I beg you share them. This one dey urgent. Here now, now waterway so we're supposed to pass. But if you see now, sand on the chop under. So if you see now, mark, they already there here. So if another rain fall again now, see, you don't they chop from inside. I beg, I take God beg you. If you see this video, may they share them, the tag Minister of Works. This thing now, they need to repair them. Maybe they're going to need to bring more sand. I don't know what the engineers there, so that they go feel pardon from under. Because this thing now, before you go know now, it will start to the collapse. If a person don't know now, come pass or heavy thing pass here now, this thing now go just collapse, it go just sink. I beg, if you see this video, may they share them, they follow us Sunshine TV. I beg, we are finding a way to fix everything possible. Now, because of that sound went down the leak.
So it is not completed their project, and therefore, maybe they are still going to do the structural check, the standard something check, right? Health and safety. Maybe that was from their coastal road. I don't know what they would need to do in a situation where a sudden fire just sparked, like what happened at the Nigerian Senate House, which is the National Assembly today. Did you see this video? This was this afternoon.
Ask him. Are you pushing? AIT. AIT. Don't report our story.
I just come and collect it
This one's French.
Is this gas? From the pantry. This phone is from this gas.
That phone, go carry that phone, come on.
The phone. It's from the gas. What happened? Is it from the gas? Yes. That's inside. No extinguisher.
The fire extinguisher is not working. I hope we'll see you back.
There is no fire extinguisher. Somebody was asking for sand inside the office. Bring sand. Bring sand. Anyway, above everything, just thank God, all right? Because in Ibadan, despite all that is going on, right? All that really matter to some is their own stomach infrastructure, so to say, in preparation for your 2027 charade. Since a lot of you are already complaining But rice, even Prince Jejeman released a blockbuster, right? Singing, give them rice. You know, everything is rice. They might have started changing their strategy now. Maybe to Semolina. This was Ibadan yesterday.
BSA 2027. Kamatokyo, Majajina, Sarabali. Kamatokyo for Sarabali. Sarabali 2027.
You're still going to go and get your PVC, right? How many of them in that room are going to cancel the PVC of those of you who are watching? Just say, thank you very much for your time, everyone, for this evening. I'm going to leave early now, okay? So please, if you have watched up to this moment, remember, right? If you haven't liked the broadcast, it is so important. Please do like the broadcast, all right? And to those of you who have always been like reaching out, supporting my platform and all that, make use of that PayPal or buy me a coffee, whatever you do. So thank you so much for your time. And please join me another time. Yes, another time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Maiyegun diary Politico. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ba bá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òkúra olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràjì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran òun.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ó fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀n lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràjì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.